Hi and welcome to Pre-Calc 20 with Miss Verity. Today we're going to be looking at 4.3b, solving by completing the square, where a is not equal to 1. So, fortunately, really, this is going to have some fractions in it. Not always, but more likely than not, there might be some. So how good are your fractions? Well, let's start. So the steps are exactly the same with one extra step. So first part is you're putting it into the ax squared is equal, nope, not that one. You're putting it into ax squared plus bx is equal to c. So this is our c term. 6x squared minus 12x is equal to, if I add 11 to both sides, I'm going to have 18. The steps, the only brand new step is you are going to divide every term by a. The reason we're doing this is it's going to force a to be 1. So I'm going to divide every single term by 6. So my first one, that reduces to be 1. And I'm left with x squared minus 2x. Now I'm going to put in my blanks is equal to 3. And from this point on, it's the same step. So next we're going to do our half of the middle squared. So half of the middle is -1. -1 squared is 1. So I'm going to add 1 to both sides. So now when I factor, again, I'm thinking to myself, a couple ways you can think of it. We are just factoring, that's all we're doing. But the trick we learned is that our factors work out to be the half of the middle factors. And now we're just going to solve like regular. So square root x minus 1 is equal to plus or minus 2, plus or minus because we put the square root in. And now split our pieces. X minus 1 is equal to -2, x minus 1 is equal to +2. Add 1 to both sides. In both cases, I'm two things at once. X is equal to -1 and x is equal to 3. So then that would be our solution set. -1, 3. So next thing, same thing, I'm going to put it into my ax squared plus bx is equal to c. So 4x squared minus 8x is equal to, so if I'm subtracting 5, I'm going to have -3. I'm going to divide each one by 4 and end up with x squared minus 2x plus my blank is equal to -3/4 plus my blank. So again, half of the middle is -1. -1 squared is equal to 1. That's going in my blank. When I factor, I'm factoring this first part. That part factors to be x minus 1, x minus 1. Well, x minus 1 times x minus 1 is x minus 1 squared. Same thing. Again, that number comes from my half of the middle number. Is equal to, well, 1 minus 3/4 is 1/4. Thinking of quicker ways to do fractions. That one's a common sense. You don't necessarily need a common denominator. Square root both sides. X minus 1 is equal to plus or minus. Remember, when you square root fractions, you're square rooting the top over the square root of the bottom. So that's going to be 1/2. Split our pieces. X minus 1 is equal to -1/2. X minus 1 is equal to +1/2. Again, you're thinking common sense with these fractions. If I'm adding 1 to both sides, 1 minus 1/2 is equal to 1/2. If I'm adding 1, x is equal to, well, 1 plus 1/2 is 1.5. And 1.5 as an improper fraction is 3/2. So that's our solution set. 1/2, 3/2. Again, really only that dividing step is the only thing that's different. So our next example, same thing, gonna get it in that same look. So 4x squared, in this case, I'm moving my 4x over. So minus 4x is equal to, and moving the 37 over. Divide every single term by 4. So x squared minus 1x plus blank. You don't need to write the 1. I'm doing it for emphasis. Is equal to, well, 37 over 4 doesn't reduce, so it's just going to hang out there. So let's test our fractions. Half of the middle. So we're going 1 divided by 2. Well, 1 divided by 2 is 1/2. So half of the middle squared. So again, squaring is multiplying by itself. So 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4. Again, we're going to factor. Our factors would be x minus 1/2, x minus 1/2. That comes from our half of the middle. So x minus 1/2 squared is equal to 37 over 4 plus 1 over 4. We've got our common denominator, so we're good to go. 38 over 4. If you wanted to reduce already, you could. So that's going to be, 38 divided by 2. I don't want to do this wrong. It's going to be 19. Yes, 19 over 2. You know what? Actually, let's continue this way. Why not? So square root both sides. I'm going to show you, I'm going to go from this point on a different side just to show you a different way you could solve it. So I'm going to get x minus 1/2 is equal to plus or minus, well, this is going to end up being root of 19 over root of 2. Remember, we cannot have radicals in the denominator, so I'm going to rationalize. And that's going to give me plus or minus root of 38 over 4. Nope. Root of 38 over root of 4. Oops. Okay. Which is going to be plus or minus root of 38 over 2. X minus 1/2 is happening the whole way along. And so you would split your pieces. I'm just going to try and see what this would look like if I had not simplified. So if I had not reduced my fraction, I would have square rooted both sides, and I would have got x minus 1/2 is equal to root of 38 over 2 plus or minus. So I ended up in the same spot without having to rationalize. Things to note. Both ways are correct though. So then if I add my 1/2 to both sides, I'm going to get 1/2 plus or minus root of 38 over 2. And again, we want to simplify these, so we need a common denominator, which we have. So 1 plus or minus root of 38 all over 2 would be the final answer. I think last example. So same, oh wow, that was a button. Same steps. 8x squared plus 12x is equal to 24. Just added 24, added 12x. Divide every single term by 8. So reduces to be 1. X squared plus, well, 4 goes into both of those. 3 over 2x, I'm going to put my blank in, equals 3. So again, half of the middle. So 3 over 2 divided by 2. I'm taking the half of the middle. Well, when we divide fractions, we are really just multiplying by the reciprocal. So what we're really doing is 3 over 2 times 1/2. And when we multiply fractions, it's top with top, bottom with bottom. So we're going to end up with 3 over 4. That's our half of the middle. And then we want our half of the middle squared. So squaring, multiplying by itself. So 3 over 4 times 3 over 4 is 9 over 16. Remembering to add to both sides. So you might look at this and go, that is gross to factor. I don't know what multiplies to be 9 over 16 and adds to be 3 over 2. Well, remember, all of our factors come from our half of the middle. So our factors are just going to be x plus 3 over 4 squared is equal to, I need a common denominator, so 16 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18, so 48. 48 over 16 plus 9 over 16 x plus 3 over 4 squared is, add 257 over 16. Square root both sides. We smile because we know 16 is a perfect square, so these are going to be nicer numbers than alternatively. So 3 over 4 is equal to plus or minus root of 57 over 4. I'm going to subtract my 3/4. X is equal to negative 3/4 plus or minus root of 57 over 4. We smile, we're happy, we've got common denominators. So x is equal to negative 3 plus or minus the square root of 57. I'm just assuming 57 doesn't have a perfect square into it. If not, oops, you know what to do. And then over 4.